Brought to you direct from Studio 3B at Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, the American Hardwood Advisor is your source for trends, tips, and insights into how the building industry has evolved. Join me, Steve Stack, along with guest builders and industry leaders as we talk shop and go in depth on what it takes to be the best of the best. Dive into topics like architecture, industry trends, project plans, historical tools, tricks of the trade, and life's lessons from more than 6 decades of experience in the hardwood lumber business. Hey, hello everybody. Steve Stack, Baird Brothers Fine Hardwood. We find ourselves back at Studio 3B, Canfield, Ohio again. And today we're going to talk about the uniqueness of Baird Brothers audiences. And that goes from the commercial side of things to the residential side of things, DIY customers, home builders, architects, interior designers. And we have a friend on staff, Mr. Eric Hiner. He covers all those fields. He covers all those bases, plus more. Eric, welcome back to Studio 3B, bub.
Thanks for having me today. Appreciate it.
I promised it wasn't going to hurt, right?
So you said it.
Right. That's the one rule back here at Studio 3B, whether it's a Build It with Baird project or Studio 3B, American Hardwood Advisor. We make every attempt to have fun at it. So that's what we're going to do today.
Good.
Let everybody know your title and how long you've been here.
We can do that. So I've been at Baird's going on 25 years this year, I'm pretty sure, if my memory serves me right. I am in inside sales and have a very nice clientele of lots of great customers that I've acquired over the years and service.
And those customers, you have great relationship with 3, 4, 5 of our B2B business to business people down in Columbus, some in the commercial side of things, local and regional contractors, and also you have a fantastic client from Hawaii. Tell us about that.
No doubt. So going back maybe 10 or 12 years, you had gone to the International Builder Show in Vegas and started that whole thing and met JTG Pyramid Premier Builders out of Hawaii. And we've had a really nice relationship with them, shipping full houses of doors and trim, really nice stuff to Hawaii.
Jump ahead to 2022 this year, and you for the first time got to attend IBS 2022 International Builders Show down in Orlando. And one of the great things, I know you have the same appreciation I do for our customers, your customers. You got to meet them down in Orlando.
So the highlight of my trip, for sure, was finally, after that period of time, meeting Tim and the girls who run the show there. It was just to put a face to face was so it was awesome. It really was.
Yeah, and when I look back at the International Builder Show for 2022, that was in witnessing that was like, okay, now I know these people.
Yeah, it was an aha moment for sure, without a doubt.
Because you had always, over the years, it had always been conversations via phone or email communications, and you can look people up online and try and get it, but when he and his group approached our booth, that was killer. That was killer.
And he ended up letting us in on his new project that's coming up, a big project for the future that they're going to start, and looks like we're going to continue with them for a while.
What's that? That's in Honolulu?
Yep, Honolulu.
So, yeah, and that's one of many. Flip back home here, and we share a friendship with a couple guys from East Liverpool, and in fact Joe was just in the office yesterday or the day before, and Delaretto Construction.
Yep.
There is the prime example of a gem of a relationship. You know, those guys. I mean, I can't even fathom how many years. How many years have you been dealing with Joe?
Well,
And Mike.
ever since I started at the counter is when I met Joe coming in here. So at least maybe 22 years ago.
Okay, so that leads me to another question. You hired in. What was the first thing you did?
Worked in the shop.
So you were in the shop for a
Went
while.
went to the shop for a couple years.
Bounced out to the
Sales counter.
counter out front.
Yep.
And then at some point,
I found an opportunity to move my way up the steps, and
Literally.
move my way up the steps, and started being your inside contact when you were out on the road selling. And
Gosh.
started typing all of your orders is where I started that at.
looking back, I can't even recall. That had to be, wow. You weren't in the shop or downstairs very long.
No. Nope.
We share some mutual respect for our customers, and I think we have some similarities as our approach with our customers. But you have mastered your craft as far as customer relations. What are you trying to achieve with your customers?
My number one goal is to have the best customer service by far to my customers. That's what I pride myself on daily, and that's it. Customer service 100%, and the rest will come after that.
And that's obvious in your customer base, whatever category they come from, and your retention of those customers, that they appreciate you as much as you appreciate them, and you've worked. It took work to accomplish that, right?
That, and every day. It takes
Right.
work every day. But that's what a lot of them have been built on, is the good service, for sure. And an awesome product, without a doubt. So,
And to achieve that, I know the answer to the question. There's key components in conversation, communication, and you are very good at one key component. What's the first thing you do to your customers?
now you are putting me on the spot.
Because you do it naturally. You don't even know you're doing it.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
Listen,
Bingo.
be my biggest guess anyway.
Bingo. That's as we were writing notes down, and that came up in conversation. In order to be a good salesperson, and I don't care whether it's field sales, telephone sales, online sales, and how do you listen online, Steve? Well, as you're looking at the orders and you have to reach out on a question on an order, you have to listen. And if you listen, a couple things happen. You get information that you need, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're listening correctly and you translate that and spin it, because you listen, now you know what questions to ask of that customer. He said, I heard, but he left out this.
Right.
Right? So, yeah, that's, I knew you were going to come up with the right answer, bud.
And I'm still old school too, because I write everything down as I'm listening. So I use paper, but it's a cheat sheet to fill in the blanks.
You never took notes in high school or college, but you take notes in your job now.
How about that? How about that?
I've only heard stories, so I'm going out on a limb there. It's again, another strong suit that you carry is your product knowledge of Baird Brothers Fine Hardwood products is second to none, and you have a way of educating your customer, so of Baird product, of your procedures, I'll call them. If I'm calling in and I get you on the phone and I want to order a pre-hung door, you have a checklist of stuff that you go through. I mean, it's not a printed checklist, but it's up here in your mind, right?
Every time.
That comes through years of experience. It's developed and mastered, and you being the veteran on the phones, you've done that. But that's not all you do here.
I take a lot of razzing from it as well, only because of just slightly OCD in all of it.
Prior to traveling to IBS 2022 in Orlando with us this year, and getting that experience, before I ask the next part of this question, what did you come away with from IBS 2022?
There's a lot bigger show out there than around what you see locally here. The quality of contacts that you meet at the IBS show was amazing. A whole nother level. Not that the IX Center, the Great Big Home and Garden Show in Pittsburgh aren't big, but it's a whole nother big when you go to the IBS show.
And that's where I was going in that for years we've had the opportunity to work the regional shows, local events and so forth, and and yes, the Great Big Home and Garden Show Cleveland, the Pittsburgh Home and Garden Show, they're fantastic shows, but the IBS is a different level as a national show, and you nailed it. Excuse me. The audiences are 180 degrees.
Yeah,
different.
Definitely.
Going back to our introduction of the home and garden shows regionally, you have homeowners, you have DIY-ers, the occasional contractor walking through. We go to the International Builders Show, and you have interior designers, you have architects, you have builders, and you better be on your A game because they know the answer to the question before they ask it, right?
Whether you can do it or not.
Right. So
whether you can help them.
Yeah, and it is, and you're right. IBS was a phenomenal show this year, coming off of 2 years of the COVID situation and being able to get back out in front of the public. I mean, it was phenomenal, and all the shows that we attended this year, consumer participation was very good. Was very good. I mean, we spent some time down in Pittsburgh together and had a good show in Pittsburgh, and the guys did the same in Cleveland, and that's a whole nother side of your game, because now you're not on the phone or typing communications via email or text. You're face to face.
It's nice to see somebody.
Yeah. And we didn't get to attend it this year, the Cleveland show, because we were in Orlando. But, and I've said it 100 times, myself and you included, because of our time working together as an inside rep support for me when I was on the road, we go to Cleveland, it's like a family reunion, right?
Right.
I mean, we see guys that, you know, we haven't seen in a few years, and they come by the booth and we have conversation, and you know about their families, they know about yours, you know, and speaking of families, you're a tough guy. 3 daughters, a wife, and a dog or two, and
female dog to boot. Couldn't even get a male dog. just outnumbered, but it's been great. It's really been great. You know, I appreciate being at Baird's to raise 3 girls.
And
unreal.
And if you don't mind saying their ages.
So we're at 25, Madeline, 22 for Gracie, and soon to be 17 for Bree.
I didn't need to hear that. That just made me feel a little bit old.
Yep, definitely.
My gosh,
That's
yeah.
how I feel too.
Getting back to work here, you think back over the years, and some of your favorite projects you can think of? I've got one in mind.
Oh, geez.
And it goes back 12 years, if I'm not mistaken.
This ought to be good, considering that I can't remember what it is.
And I could be wrong, but I'm thinking your first Hawaii job wasn't that a mahogany job?
It was all mahogany, flush, contemporary doors,
Yep.
1 3/4 thick, 8 foot tall, very contemporary casing, all mahogany as well. Couldn't believe this guy was just going to get this shipped across the pond and put it in the house over there.
Yeah. And there's been some local ones. There's been some local ones.
I dealt with a guy in New York for quite a few years that built sound systems, and he special ordered butcher block and speaker blocks to enhance the sound of a speaker, which I had no idea did until he led me to that. But I did that for 10 or 15 years with him.
You sent him hundreds of them.
Yeah, did them in
Hundreds
all
of
different colors, and
Yeah, I had forgot about that.
yeah,
Yeah, that was kind of unique.
but different, something different, starting out.
Really, you have your own style, your own organizational chart as far as keeping information about your customers. Take me through that. I mean, guys, if you've ever seen Eric's desk, there's nothing out of place. Whether it be customer files, pens, pencils, it's always at an arm's length away from him, and that's so important when Joe XYZ calls you and says, "Hey Eric, how's this project coming along?" You do what?
As messy as my desk looks, it all has a place and an order. Like I said, I do everything on paper. I keep a record of everything for a certain amount of time. I can always go back to a folder, which I have a 4-door filing cabinet just full year round, rotate the stock in and out of it, and I'm prepared for it.
And also, unlike my computer screen and my email, I have a list of, let's say, 30 files. You have a list of 300 files.
At least, probably the most folders that the IT department has said they've seen on a computer, but I have something for everything ready at my fingers to grab it and refresh my memory.
Yeah, and that's helpful to you and to your customers. You're at the ready with the answers they're looking for. Big part of customer service. You and I've seen a lot of change here. We go back to the day of handwritten orders at the counter. Had to do the math. take us through what we've seen as far as change in our approach to our customers, how we receive our customers, the order process.
So from handwriting tickets to getting computers, period, I'm not the best IT guy, we'll say, as far as being current or knowledge of technology-wise, but learned it right along with everybody else.
Yeah.
But use it every day now, not knowing that I would ever use it this much or be able to use it this much.
And you and the rest of the sales staff included, outside sales, phone sales, counter sales, we have more tools now than we've ever had.
Yeah.
The amount of work that you do daily, 20 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to do that.
No.
Right?
Just to search something and find something so quick, you already have the answer.
Right. We've got BairdBrothers.com is a great resource. Our SPLs. It used to be a challenge to find our SPLs. Yeah. Now it's as simple as
hop online and just start clicking.
Right.
You can find anything you want.
So that's another one of your sales resources that in your library of ammunition that Definitely. You have available to you.
Lots of profiles to pick from to send to your customers.
Again, we've seen the change, but from when you started at the sales counter until today, how have you seen our product offerings expand?
So as overwhelming as it was when I first started here product-wise, it's not a clue, but maybe 10 times as many products, but just easier, so much easier to find now because they're, like I said, they're all at your fingertips. But yeah, very overwhelming at first. Baffled when I first started here, learning all the profiles, but it was almost like homework to just start memorizing everything. Now, way too many profiles to memorize. That's not happening. But before you and I could memorize the whole entire book, the whole entire catalog.
I'm thinking of
start to finish. You knew how much the product cost as well. Not only the profile number, the dimensions on it.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the old trifold price list. There was like a 5x9 trifold, and
I think you're really dating yourself. That was before me.
Okay, all right. So the gloves come off. So, but you're right. You knew what, and I can say the number, and you can tell me the size of it right now. B100 oak casing.
9/16 by 2 1/4 OG. Right?
B108 oak casing.
3/4 by 3 1/2.
Okay. Back in the day, I could have asked the next part of that question, what was the price? And right. You and I could recite it.
Today?
No. So, conservatively, let's say on that green fold out, there was 200 SKUs. Today,
thousands.
Right.
Thousands. For
and,
sure.
And so, thankfully for our IT department and the computers and the computer systems today, you can still give that same level of service. Yeah. Which without those tools, I mean, it'd be ridiculous.
The engineering department for all the drawings and just having them available to send somebody.
And you touch on something that has expanded tenfold. Anyhow, is our engineering drawing department. We used to offer maybe 3 styles of doors. You had your flush hollow core, your flush solid core, you had your 6-panel, and you had your 4-panel.
Yeah.
And maybe a louver mixed in once in a while. Again, I should know the number, I don't, but our door library now has to be approaching 1,000 different configurations.
Anything you want. Can special build it too. You draw it, we'll build it.
And I've referenced that in the past. Bring it in on a napkin and a sketch, and we'll run it through engineering and drawing, and it can come to life.
And now the 3D printer that's available to print you an actual piece of one of those profiles so you can physically hold it and see it, which helps tremendously.
Yeah, so again, we have so many stock profiles in our common species, red oak, poplar, maple, cherry, a little bit of the hickory, and our dimensional stock, including the ash, the black walnut, and a little bit in the quarter sawn red and white. But the system is set up now, if I want a quarter sawn white oak casing, right? I go to the SPL section, or you go to the SPL section, you find the profile, you pull it up, and it will give you a species pull down and give you the price.
Yep.
Right?
Instantly.
So a lot has changed.
Yep.
You touched on a 3D printer. The benefits of that, you've experienced it back in the day. If somebody wanted a sample of a custom SPL number, well, yeah, okay, we'll set up and we'll run an 8-foot stick of it, but
you got to set a full motor up to do it.
Right. Where now you put a request into engineering, they send it back over to IT to the printer, and
there you go.
It's produced.
Really nice.
A little bit has changed. One thing that hasn't changed is, and as long as you and I are around here, and never will change, the importance of long-lasting relationships with customers. Who's some of your oldest customers?
Loretto's for sure. Hearst Construction up in Westlake right now. Been with those guys for a long time. I have lots. I can't even think of all of them right now. There's so many.
We've had conversation, and a name just came to me, Davy Lobus. Right?
North Royalton.
Yeah, and the Chucharellas, and Nicola Bianchi's, and Ray Pate, formerly of Sherwood Homes, and Pat, his superintendent, and you know you're doing it right, and I know that you're doing it right when in the office that we share, we talk business, and then you BS for 10 minutes. Right?
Yep.
And those things don't go away. You could go off to another job somewhere, or when you retire, and you're still going to have some of those friendships.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? As things have changed, products have changed, product lines have changed. 2 questions. Favorite product line, and favorite wood species, personally?
I'm going to go with wood species first.
It's an easy one.
So one that's probably going to go away, or they keep saying it's going to go away. It is limited, getting more limited, but ash for sure. Thought it was really cool, different when I first started here, and through my years, built my home and did all ash in my entire house. Doors, trim, flooring, everything. Just wanted something different. Just because I work at Baird Brothers, that's what I need, something different in my house. So. Oh
yeah, your ash trim and doors, they're gorgeous.
And it was a custom profile casing from back in the day that I picked on that. Took a regular base, and that's what we decided on.
Yeah. How about your work colleagues?
So I've met a ton of great people along the way in my almost 25 years here. Built work relationships and outside work relationships with them. Everybody's willing to help. You know, if I'm going to miss or I'm going to be out, there's somebody there to fill in for it. And I do the same, you know, vice versa. It's super nice, without a doubt.
And I mean, and that extends not only from our work colleagues, but we consider them our work colleagues, our ownership. You know it, I know it, we've experienced it, I don't want to say taken advantage of it, but it was accessible to us. If you've got something going on with your family, they're the first ones to say, go.
Yeah, Baird family has treated me extremely well over my time here. Can't say enough about that for sure, but like you said, yeah, if you needed to be somewhere, they're very forgiving on that and understanding, which makes it great to raise a family. You put the time in after that to make up for it, and you thank them for that.
Yep. Yep. So we're coming into your time of year, bub. Golf clubs are out.
Here it comes.
Right. We're starting to put calendar dates in for some of our work-related golf outings and so forth. And I know next to I'll go family first, then I'll go golf, and then I'll go hunting. And your order of importance, and hopefully here real soon we'll be able to get together and ride around in a cart, smoke a cigar, and hit some golf balls again, you know. But that's not too far off. So
we're ready.
You're ready? Okay. Well, appreciate you coming back this afternoon, spending some time with us out here at Studio 3B. Folks, one of many important pieces to this Baird Brothers puzzle. Mr. Eric Hiner with me this afternoon. Stay tuned. We're going to bring you more of the guys behind the scene in our next series of American Hardwood Advisor. So until then, follow us on our social, on the Instagram, the Facebook side of things, or visit us at bairdbrothers.com and our content studio for more stuff that we've done already in the past and stuff coming up. Stay tuned. We'll be back at you. For all you folks listening, thanks for talking shop with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. If you've enjoyed this episode and want to stay up to date with the American Hardwood Advisor series, give us a like and subscribe. For more tips, projects, and inspiration, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, or at bairdbrothers.com. Until next time,